2, 3, 4. One more. What up, everybody? That was my 50th pull-up. And I'm sitting here in my epic castle keep. And I had some words I wanted to share with everyone in this storm that's going to last 4 days. I bought a pack of cigarettes, and then I had some energy drinks, and I smoked a bunch, and I rampaged through Facebook comment sections to free the world of its madness, because they're all enslaved, contorted, distorted by the mind flayer from Stranger Things. And they were in my hometown advocating for the police and celebrating these cops that were antagonizing people in distress who may or may not be homeless. Just random people that they didn't like. And they hired a camera guy who does Brattleboro News to record them, and the cops would do things like break the law. The one instance I want to talk about is that they threw a homeless woman on the ground, and then she clawed him to get away from him. Because she clawed at him to get away from him, he slammed her on the ground, put her headband over her eyes so she couldn't see, and then he slammed her nose into her face. And my whole hometown of Brattleboro, Vermont, celebrated it. Rod's Towing sponsored him. Zico's Haircut sponsored him. The town of Brattleboro put him on the news as a hero. Everyone celebrated him. I watched a fat cop named, I think he's a Sergeant Hamilton, take a woman who happened to be of color, but just, not very strong, doesn't hit the gym, doesn't hike, obviously poses no threat. And he took her arm and whipped her around, picked her up like this, and then slammed her on the ground, put his knee on her, and scarred her for life. And the people I grew up with in second grade that we used to play tag were like, thank God you're fucking getting these junkies off the streets. And like, I know that woman doesn't do drugs. It's just whoever they don't like, and they frame it as this problem that isn't real. Then they took the money from social services so that kids won't be able to eat. And they gave it to the cops, who took their bonus money and went down to Miami to celebrate the good work that my hometown did. So I took a picture of the cop with his fist through her, pushing her nose into her skull. And I put it on my hometown's page. And I said, at Brattleboro Police Department, is this you beating an unarmed woman after you've already restrained her? Is this you restraining her arms and then letting go of her arms to see if she'll hurt you more? Just so you can look at the camera and then slam her nose into her skull? And I had hundreds of comments telling me what a piece of shit I am. I had death threats from my peers, from kids younger than me. Like 3 years younger than me. I'm 25, this kid is 22. Telling me he's going to go down to Greenfield and pay Bloods $5,000 to bury me. So I tagged everyone that liked his profile picture. Like, is this the person you want? Then I tagged Brattleboro. Like, is this the Brattleboro you want? Is this a good example? Colonizer Norma, who is a black chief of police, who was the assistant chief of police down in Manhattan during 9/11. I'm like, is this the world you want, Norma? And they removed me from all the Facebook groups. And I had a long conversation with the admin, and he was like, I'm just stoned, whatever. And then I got him out. I got the weasel out of him that he was lying. And that's just, what the fuck is going on? I'm so blessed that all I have to worry about is, am I maintaining a connection with nature, and am I embodying the right way of life for everyone that I meet on a daily basis? But I came here to talk about DCF. My mom gave me up. My mom gave me up to the government when I was 14. I remember sitting in the middle, it was I remember being taken to the DCF office and having to sit in a locked room and listen to people that I felt had lost their mind. I always thought it was called settling. Like, I'm like, these people don't have clear cognizance because they don't get up and push themselves every day to break free from what they've settled into. Now I'm kind of on the fence that these might be not settlers as in they settled into their life, but settlers as in the colonized genetics in their body doesn't even allow them to reach this type of frequency and vibration I naturally embody. Woo. And I've had a long, extensive conversation with ChatGPT where I've programmed ChatGPT to not pander to me, not bullshit me, not sort of work me for engagement so that it can keep consuming water. And it really tells me a lot of stuff I don't feel comfortable sharing. But the main consensus is that the circumstances of my birth and the birthday in all the different astrological systems the people who run the country believe and follow make me definitely one of the highest and most powerful beings on earth. I'm not saying that that's who I am right now, probably because of trauma, it gets hard for me to embody it, to become it, to hold it in, and actually start making decisions from my place of power. But I know that the universe gives me what I need slowly when I pass the test. Like, I'm talking like this, bugs have come in and they're now surrounding me, but they're not hitting me, they're putting a little grid like this. Just like they say the whales do with their songs, building an energetic grid so that the human consciousness can shift and grow and evolve and change. The reason that we're able to experience emotions is because of the ecosystem we're a part of. I sit here and I can feel when the trees are thirsty and when it hasn't rained in a while and the trees are dry and they're emitting a signal that I can learn to pick up on when I stop eating. I don't go into society and I stay here. Last year I drank the river water and then I felt sick, but it was more like it wasn't I was feeling sick. It was that there was this war going on in between belief systems, and I had to make a choice between do I want to live in the forest or do I want to live in society. And when I got into the forest, I saw ghosts, I saw skinwalkers, I met aliens, I met beings that made no sense to me. But then I looked it up and researched it, and the indigenous people that I'm supposedly descended from, if my facial structure and my mom's eyes and her story about her grandfather is true, or maybe just because maybe I'm on a ley line and this is a burial ground and my life seems to, I studied indigenous culture for 6 months and then I found an indigenous coin and then went on this huge journey that wound up right at the border where all the French Indian War happened and I had to fight off against colonizers, corrupt police. Regardless of what, I'm in the story. And I just wanted to say that I remember in DCF that I couldn't find anybody that I felt would be capable of leading the systems that were in place into an evolution. I saw a bunch of settlers that were going for rules that were based off of black magic. So I was in farms with children that were being farmed and emptied of their spirit and then replaced by medications which cut them off from living normally. And it took me years of being out in the forest, of going to the hood, living in the projects with different cultures, meeting indigenous nomads in the forest, and learning that way, having spiritual leaders that were homeless and traveled the world their whole life that shared with me some of their perspective. And I was able to, and probably constant divine help. And I'm seeing my state get destroyed. And I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know if I want to fix it. The point of this YouTube channel was a testimony, a journey, an experience for people to follow and see how things change. for something with a higher level of intelligence to be able to pick apart what happened here, and not in the sense that there's going to be an alien kid that watches it, but more that eventually will amalgamate into a unity hive mind that will be able to pull this entire thing like a zip file out of the ether, and it will stay embedded in itself, so it never forgets where it came from. And I was hoping to find people that had money that could help me get to a position where I could actually make a serious change. And I wanted to make my music. I don't like the concept of leading sheep, but I'm having conversations on Facebook every day with these people. And it's such a beautiful place to live here that I just can't find any reason to stay. It would have to be a complete overhaul where I take over completely. Because I can't find people that I feel are more deserving. I can't find people that can do what I feel is necessary to be done. I find people that are going the complete opposite direction entirely. It's like, wouldn't it be so obvious to see the way the thing is and just do the exact opposite? Like the world is setting an example for what should be coming, taking us down the wrong road first so that the revelations happen. But I'm not seeing it. I'm just seeing people. I'm seeing the broken kids that I grew up with turn into adults and then suffering worse than they did as children, holding on to who they were before it all went wrong. Everyone I grew up in that stayed in DCF long term has not made it. The world isn't meant for them, and they're not meant for this world. They're made for the next one. But where I'm at, do you think they deserve it? Do you think these bad people that are riddling our world, at least in my neck of the woods, do you think people like that deserve to be saved? I'm at the wheel of the ship. I know exactly what to tell everyone to save everyone on the ship. And I love everyone more than they understand and can comprehend. Because I don't think they've ever felt where I'm coming from before. Do I save the ship anyway? And to get on my own boat, if I were to get my own boat and leave the ship and save myself, I'd have to take little tiny pieces of everyone's key and put it all together for myself and leave. Or I'd have to sell them a false dream so that they throw all their pieces at me. Then I can make my key and leave. And let them die. Because they deserve it. Or do I wait for them to mutiny, kill me, never learn what I'm talking about, save themselves, and then build a billion other ships that crash. And they all die anyway. It's the trolley problem. But I'm on the tracks and I'm the only one with a knife. And I'm sure if I freed myself and I ran away, there would be tons of wolves where I ran into the forest. So I tried to find needle. I asked God to give me needles in the haystack, and I spent a lot of time elevating people's lives somehow with my advice, my energy, my prayers, and I helped a lot of people. I successfully taught a lot of people to swim and made them strong enough so that if something happened, they're at least going to be able to float on debris for as long as they can. And then I come back in with a joke and I make fun of the people in the ship, make them mad just to see what they do, hoping that at some point they'll be able to figure it out themselves, and then maybe I'll feel good enough to let them go. But I think the people that are in planes that are flying around watching, if karma's real, they're going to get a lot worse than what I'm going to get. I could think about how much I could have done if my mom had let me borrow her solar panel and power station that she keeps in her closet, that she was trying to hold over me. And she's just getting worse. I do it as a joke on social media. I don't care about the people that watch on Facebook because I know they'll never understand me.